Now listen, if you've known me for a while, you'll know I'm a massive music fan. I love music, I listen to a lot of music, but I never thought of myself as a good critic in the same way that Cactus Malpractice, Todd in the Shadows, and Anthony Fantano are good critics. I just never felt confident in my ability to articulate why it is that I like what I like. I also tend to go into an album with a more open-minded artist's point of view rather than your typical critical point of view. I mean, Christ, I'm the kind of person that would listen to Van Halen 3 and Calling All Stations unironically and find value in each of them. Needless to say, my idea of good jams is less than traditionalist, and I would consider myself pretty hard to disappoint. Though, even with that said, I've still come across some real stinkers in my day. Some of them are actually rather mild, wherein I don't actually hate the song in question, but it can get annoying if you've heard it enough times. This can apply to a lot of the songs that get overplayed on the radio every week. You got your Smells Like Teen Spirits, your Sweet Child of Mines, your Rock and Roll All Night, blah, your Entering of the Sandmans, and even your f***ing... But there is an occasion, while rare, where a song will really irk me, and I never want to cross paths with it again.
1, 2, bazoo, bazoo, bazoo.
Now, I'm aware that I'm only delaying the inevitable here, but in full transparency, and in my own defense, I didn't even want to make this video.
Are you kidding? You gotta be kidding. Are you kidding?
For the longest time, I feared that making this video would only add to the already overwhelming attention the song in question has seemingly gotten since it was first written. Although, I guess this is just one of those times where I just gotta get a little something off my chest that I had bottled up for so long. So to understand how I first got acquainted with the song in question, and rather what it is, you first need to understand my years of experience with the music of...
Hi, it's me, Lori Berkner.
And I do mean years. I grew up with her music ever since I was a tiny little puppy. And a small chunk of you guys will likely know that I pay tribute to her on my socials quite a bit. One would say a little too much, and yeah, I'll admit that. One such occasion was in 2022, during the 25th anniversary of Lori's 1997 debut. What do you think of that? For which I uploaded an album speedrun, for lack of a way of better describing it, on my other YouTube channel, Anarchy in the YT. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a bit, but I've left the video in the description if you're curious. It's catchy stuff, man. Even today. And I think that's a testament to the timelessness of her material. But again, even the best of us are bound to have a few songs that weren't so enjoyable just by default. And being that I've run out of stalling material, it might be time to reveal the main focus of this video. Let's get this over with. God damn. I never thought my hobby in the future would involve talking about the reasons I do not care for this song. Now, if I may go back to that album speedrun I did for a hot minute, I thought it'd be a bit cheeky of me to add in a little joke in reference to those pent-up feelings. And for that part in particular, I did this. Essentially what I did was, I played it off as simply not getting the footage for that section, and moving on like nothing happened. That's it. That was the whole joke. Now I thought this would be the only version of the song to exist, and we can all just go about our days, right?
Not right.
Not right?
Right.
So I was just casually sitting by myself, you know, looking through different music artists to show to some of my younger cousins. And then I happened upon an artist by the name of Mr. Fred Penner. He was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and certainly made a household name for himself across Canada, with songs like Sandwiches,
Sandwiches are beautiful, sandwiches are fine. I like sandwiches, I eat them all the time.
Puff the Magic Dragon,
Puff the magic dragon, live by the sea, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Harmony.
I Am the Wind,
I am the wind, I am the breeze. I dance with the leaves and I play in the trees. I twist and I turn, skip, jump and fly.
and Take Good Care of Each Other.
Take good care of each other. That's what friends like to do.
With songs like those under his belt, it's no wonder he became so well respected. And I was going to recommend him to my aforementioned younger cousins, until I did a bit of a deep dive into his material and found... Now, you gotta remember, I thought Laurie's version of this song was the only one to exist. But boy, would I be proven wrong when I realized that this fucker recorded his version literally 18 years prior.
What?
Look, it should be stated that although I wasn't born in Canada, I have all the respect in the world for the country and the people who live there. Even Fred. I mean, the guy's a cultural icon. But at the same time, though, I gotta ask. Is this really what you guys flock to?
Because the only things I really have to go by are concert footage and interviews where
This is apparently Fred's most requested song.
It's coming. You do have to have patience. If I did the cat now, that'd be pretty much the end of the show. And I've got other things I want to sing and share with you in between.
Is that the one that you get the most requests for?
Between that and Sandwiches, yeah. Those are the number one and number two requests on my repertoire.
And they seem to suggest that my suspicions are at least somewhat right.
Oh man, I hate it when I'm right.
And then I started thinking, like, how many versions of this song are there? Turns out there are probably like 7 billion versions of this song made by literally everyone in their granddad! These include, but are not limited to, Fred Penner, The Learning Station, excuse me, Laurie Berkner, the National Film Board of Canada, the Deftones, not to be confused with Deftones, so that means Gino Moreno is in the clear, Countdown Kids, Monty Harper, Theory of a Dead Man, and no, I'm not gonna fix that typo because I am too frustrated. New Christie Minstrels, Sonny James, Splash and Boots, Kaboomers, Gino and the Lone Gunman, Steve Waring, Tex Morton, Macabre Minstrels, Zoom, Lomax the Hound of Music, even the Muppet Show, Seashells, Scott Bruffy, the list goes on and on and on. In fact, now that I've brought up the Zoom version, I've got a little bit of a theory surrounding this one. And I know I'm jumping around a bunch and going off track, but I need you to stay with me.
One. Ready for this? 1, 2, 3, go!
Let's compare the set pieces used in the Zoom version from around 1972 to Laurie Berkner's version on Jack's Big Music Show from 2007. Notice how each one has like a wooden fence type structure on the set? We can see that in the Jack's version, the wood boards are more condensely packed, with what looks like a fake recycle poster and a retractable peephole. Whereas the fence in the Zoom version takes a different approach, where the boards are a bit more loosely packed and you can see a good few of them are cracked down the middle. We also see a trash bin on this set. One of the Zoomers falls in. Okay, back to Jack's, and we can see there is also a trash bin. 2 of them, actually. These ones are used to come out of hiding rather than going in. The Zoom version also has this inconspicuous clothesline that never comes into play, while the Jack's version doesn't. But I believe there is enough evidence to at least speculate that the Zoom version must have had at least some inspiration to that infamous music video I saw first. I have no idea where I was going with that. So why exactly do I hate this song so much? I believe there are a few factors at play here. The first being the song structure. The song goes verse, chorus, rinse and repeat for a while until the end. You can almost treat it like a never-ending loop, in a similar vein as Tiny Tim's rendition of Eve of Destruction, but not as lengthy, although it very well could have been. Next up is the lyrics and subject matter. For this one, I'm going to shift away from Lori's version and draw some more reference to Fred's version, which has significantly more verses. But regardless of which one you listen to, the verses tend to be a bit morbid. Just listen to some of these examples and judge for yourself. Friendly reminder, I've cut the music entirely, leaving just Fred.
Now the man around the corner swore he'd kill the cat on sight, so he loaded up his shotgun with nails and dynamite. He waited and he waited for the cat to come around. 97 pieces of the man is all that they found. Now the cat was the possessor of a family of his own, with 7 little kittens, till there came a cyclone. It tore the houses all apart and tossed the cat around. The air was filled with kittens, but not one was ever found.
Keep in mind, these are children's artists we're talking about. For children. It's like those old 17th and 18th century nursery rhymes with really f***ed up origins.
A tissue, we all died from the plague.
Another thing that sort of bugs me about this song is its chord progression. It relies super heavily on what's known as the Andalusian cadence. What do I mean by that? Let's look at this in terms of like a side-scrolling video game where you're walking in one direction and every so often you hit an enemy or you miss a jump or something. So let's treat our tonic chord as the starting point. I'm going to use D minor. And let's say you jump over like a pit in the platform. That will essentially be moving to the whole tone from D minor to C major. Repeat the process for the B flat major. Then you walk over just a tad. It kills you, forcing you to start all the way at the start of the level again. So to recap, starting point, jump, jump, hit an enemy. Respawn to the beginning, jump, jump. And then you hit an enemy again. Rinse and repeat until the sun explodes. So yeah, very much relying on the same 4 chords for 3 to 4 minutes. And I think that, in turn, renders it my least favorite chord progression of literally all time. But I think the main reason I hate this song so much has to be the overpopulation, so to speak. From the first ever recorded version from like 1894 to today, it absolutely blows my mind how many versions are out there right now. It's almost gotten to the point where I can barely leave my room without hearing a trace of it from someone's phone speaker. Like it's almost required that you hear it at this point.
There's no possible escape.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Fred. So while I brace myself for the inevitable impact of any enjoyers of that song that are probably ready to cave my head in as we speak, I just want to close by saying, if you like it, fine, whatever, it's just not my thing. And I know this has kind of been like all over the place and I've been jumping around a lot, but bear in mind I'm still trying to dip my paws into this new formula. Let me know what you think of this new video style. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this stuff in the future, and I'm gonna go. I also tend to go into like a song or an album, and I also tend to go into a, but it can get really annoying once you, oh my god. So to understand how I got first... Wow. on my other YouTube channel. But I think this... I cannot talk today. But I believe there is enough evidence to at least speculate that these two versions... Can't believe I wasn't plugged in this whole time. Well, since I probably got a few people coming over, going to... So while I wait for the inevitable impact of enjoyers of that song that are probably going to cave my head in as we speak. So while I brace myself for the inevitable impact of take it slow, Josh. Just take it slow. So while I wait for the inevitable impact of any enjoyers of that song that are probably ready to throw my... So while I wait for the inevitable impact that is... So while I brace myself for the inevitable enjoyers of that song that are probably ready to throw... Why do I keep saying ready to throw? What? Recorded his version... Literally 18 years prior. Unbelievable. And then I started thinking, like, holy shit, how many versions of this song are there? Turns out there are a lot. I was waving my arms out the window of a fast-moving passenger train, acting in an irresponsible fashion, till the engineer whose back had been turned, and who I thought would find me highly amusing, quickly swiveled his head around, and his face, which was a paper white mask of evil, sang me this song.